So what do we got here? Continue to improve serviceability, connectivity. We also heard your feedback regarding gameplay balancing. Many of today's changes are focusing on adjusting the power levels of Dually and Pig, as well as fixing a significant amount of bugs reported on Twitter, Discord, and in-game. Let's get to the second content patch. Sparring partner encounter that challenges your build's performance. Variety of new skills, new level up options. Okay, cool. I wonder. Interested in seeing what this means. I really hate it when patch notes don't tell you what's actually changing, but we'll see how exciting these are. Level up reward system adjusted. Conditional level up spawning removed. We don't want people to sell unwanted items anymore to avoid dud level up rewards. I like this a lot. I pretty much never remembered to do this, so not having to worry about it anymore is pretty welcomed. Level up will now show 5 options instead of 3. Okay. So, a lot of the time, the conditional level up spawning, the conditional level was usually the big thing that your board wanted if you had any items that cared about level ups. But if you're on one of the boards that just wants to get loot items or max HP on level up, this is a pretty big buff to power leveling on those builds. Unless the pool just got a lot bigger. But, like, how much bigger does the pool have to be before the pool size is a bigger factor than seeing more options? Level up reward for level 5 is now a fixed upgrade your leftmost item. Oh. Okay. So no need for a conditional level up. Just on 5, you're going to be able to upgrade whatever you need. It also says the same as 10. This was on 11, right? So is this on 6? Blood Reef Raider now starts with Crow's Nest silver instead of Crow's Nest gold. Sure. So that fight's a little easier. It's easier on average, but the risk is still the same. Because you still might just get crit a couple times. It's 25% crit chance difference, I think. Significantly increase the rate of combat for the Mountain Pass event. Okay. I will click on the combat option more. But I swear, if I get uneventful 3 times again, I'm giving up on that option forever. Sponsorship Cache of Riches, Regenerative Tincture, now scaled with player level. Got an 8 ad since getting in here. You're in hell, oh no. I don't know what this one was. This is the one that's just plus 3 gold. And this is the one that gives you regen. So what, is it just equal to your player level now? This is the income one? Sponsorship is now available to all heroes. Oh. I have no idea which one this was. Never mind. Deadly Critter now has a Hality instead of a Yo-Yo. So how do you even get Yo-Yo on Vanessa now? You just have to shovel it? Huh. I think this makes the fight easier or harder. I don't remember what's around the Yo-Yo. It's a Ganjo and something else. This might be faster than the Yo-Yo was. The fight might be harder now. But you also can't get a Yo-Yo as a reward. Which, since this shows up as the hard fight, I think that makes a lot of sense. Usually the hard fight doesn't have the best rewards. It's just you get an extra XP for taking it. Jules' Cafe options no longer cost gold. This is the one where you get a medium item that gives adjacent things either damage, shield, or crit chance. Cool, I guess. I found myself always just clicking gumballs at the Jules' Cafe option when I take it. It's a really unexciting event for how rare it is. Backup defenses now shields based on player max health and starts at gold tier. This is the gain shield for the next fight thing. Can they just make this last all day? It feels so bad to get this before the PvE fight. At the stage of the game where you start seeing backup defenses, you don't really need it to beat any of the PvE encounters. But it's just a bricked option if you see it in the first 2 hours. Knife Tricks reduces a weapon cooldown by 5% when you use it, and starts at Diamond tier. Oh boy. This is the... when you use a weapon, decrease its cooldown. So instead of being, what was it, gold, and starting at 4%, now you can only get it at diamond. Okay. I don't know. I didn't usually think too much of this, but maybe it was big for... It was nice on Pig, but Pig was usually trying to kill fast enough that it didn't matter that much. It mattered a lot for Vanessa? I don't know. It's a lot of dually changes. Yeah. Shipwreck now starts at diamond with +1 multicast. So now there is no 2 multicast. This probably kills Shipwreck, I would think. I'm usually not too excited to put a gold Shipwreck on my board. I can't imagine aiming for a build that wants to play Shipwreck now. Clam now slows for 1 second, down from 2 seconds. So now you really want to have extra slow duration from junk items if you're going to play Clam on your board. You already did want to have those, but now you need one more to get the same. Maybe the pre-scaling dualies. Those Walter coolers give him so much HP. Yeah. Walter's a cool one. Some swashbuckle enchants get better. Okay. Yeah, this is the big one. So nothing changed with the dagger build. That's kind of surprising. We've been seeing a lot of people going daggers on Vanessa. I think it's probably... It's the higher ceiling of the builds, for sure. It does seem like it kind of just fizzles out and dies more often than the poison build. It's a lot easier to get the pieces for the poison build than it is to get the pieces for the knife build. But I feel like a lot of people on ladder have been forcing the knife build lately. I would have liked to have seen more changes to it. It's such a frustrating comp to go against, too. All of Dooley's starting cores now start with a 7-second cooldown, which does not decrease on upgrade. They were previously at 8 seconds, but there were some inconsistencies. This is, I think, overall a pretty huge nerf to the best cores. Part of what made Crit Core and the Core so good was them just naturally getting down to a 4-second cooldown as they upgrade. Or 5-second cooldown as they upgrade? Something like that. This does increase the impact of the percent cooldown reduction on the cores. The level up reward that gives you 5% cooldown reduction is more meaningful when you're going to have a big base. You're not going to be getting them down to the level that they were at previously, though. Just finished the PR vid. Those cores are very quick. Yeah. I don't know. This is a buff to the bad cores, a nerf to the good cores, which makes a lot of sense. Robotics Factory now starts at Diamond tier with +1 multicast. I think they just did this because they committed to doing it last week. Like, this was a patch note in the patch last week that just didn't happen. I almost never see Robotics Factory boards. Like, I've probably seen less than 5 all week. Combat Core now counts as a vehicle, in addition to being a core and a weapon. That's a meaningful tag, right? Aren't there skills that Dooley can get? Can Dooley get the... when you use a vehicle, your items gain crit chance? Because that's huge. Too many vehicle skills. I know there's a bunch you can get on Vanessa. I don't know which ones Dooley has access to, though. You think he can? Huh. Yeah, that skill gives a ton of crit chance. I think it's like 15% at the gold version and 30% at the diamond version per activation. Because it's not the first time you use it, it's every time you use it. Crit Core, Deadly, it now gives plus 50% crit chance and doubling its crit damage. Ballista, base damage increased to 20, cooldown reduced to 5 seconds. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one of these on somebody's board. And I have never put one of these on my board. Not sure the most powerful core combo needs more power. I don't think we've gotten to the change that buffs the best core. This was a pretty big nerf to the best cores, though. Combat Core overall is honestly whatever. It's like, a good, reliable option, but I don't think it's the most powerful thing Dooley's doing. Weak point detectors, damage buff increased. Sure. It's like twice as good when you upgrade it. I don't know. If I'm putting weak point detector on my board, this could like have no text on it as long as if it had an activation of do nothing, it would still go on my board in most of the same situations. You're really just playing it to fuel infinites. I guess now you kill faster when you have the infinites. Chem Snail has gained slow an item for a second. It's 6 cooldown. Poison on slow reduced. Oh, I didn't even know that this scaled like this. What? Okay. I mean, it's nice that one of the issues with Chem Snail is that you're often seeing it in your day one shops, and it does literally nothing in your day one shops. Where at least now, if you pick it up with Companion Core, it has an activation and does some damage. It's not a complete brick in your shop. Yeah, I don't know. Armadillo's when you shield effect now deals damage equal to its shield value? My intuition is that this is completely busted, but I need a second to process this. Are the shield skills... The shield skills are roughly as good as the damage skills, right? But this means that... Wasn't Armadillo only doing 10? It was doing 5 damage at bronze. It was real bad. I imagine they changed its shield value too, right? There's no way that it still gives 20 shield and does 20 damage when you shield. This does mean that you're getting extra value on all your shield skills on a build that already wants to be picking up a bunch of shield items, rather than being incentivized to pick up weapon skills just to increase Armadillo damage. Now, as you're scaling your defense, you're also scaling your offense. Skills with a skill that increases shield when using a weapon. Yeah. You still need to have weapons for that, though. It sounds like a 10x buff. Yes. It does read that way to me. I'll have to see what this looks like in game. Pierre now starts at Diamond tier. Sure. Omega Ray starts at Silver. Sure. Pulse Rifle now starts at Bronze instead of Silver. Dealing some damage. Its cooldown is increased from 4... Wait, cooldown increased to 4 from 3. And the multicast doubles if the friend is your only friend. Wait. So if you just play one friend on your board with Pulse Rifle, you get a multicast 3 item on a 4-second cooldown? He's a weapon, so he scales himself. Yeah, he's got like an 8-second base cooldown, though. That is true, though. I already kind of liked Pulse Rifle. Not convinced that it's good, but it's better. I don't know, multicast on Dooley is just inherently really nice because of the way activations trigger your core. Like, you got a bunch of boards where you have a missiles on them just because it speeds up your core. And this is kind of the same idea. If you've got the full multicast on this, this is now faster than missiles. Like, you'll occasionally play the triple cast burn item just to make your core faster. This is bigger, but does more damage. It's faster, too. 4-second versus 5-second. The important thing is just that playing the Pulse Rifle and taking up 2 spots with it is still faster than playing 2 small items. You are getting more triggers out of playing this versus just like playing 2 4 or 5-second small items. Power Drill now deals 20, 40, 80, 160 damage. And when you haste, slow, freeze, poison, or burn, charge this 1112 seconds. Whoa! Wait. How do I do these things fast? Wait. This still has a 10-second cooldown, right? This might be not as good as I... initially read it to be. That does a lot of things that make it go fast. But it's just naturally so slow. It's into yourself. Whenever you apply those effects. Whether that is... I imagine whether it's to you or to your opponent. So if you've got thrusters, I don't know if this would remove twice. Or if it just counts as one activation. Dually does love the haste and slow. Yeah. It's just the damage on it isn't that good, and I don't think you're getting enough of these to actually go infinite. Like, weirdly, I think slow and haste are probably the easiest ones of these to get. And the boards that are applying a lot of slow could just play weak point detector. And weak point detector needs a fifth as much slow to go infinite. Like, when this is at gold, you need 2 slow triggers to instacast. Where even at max level, this is going to need 5. You have that one board that was applying poison and burn on GCD. Poison and burn. That was on Vanessa, right? Monitor Lizard now starts at bronze tier. Wait, aren't these just like the same item now? I just realized. Hold up. What does Monitor Lizard do? Oh, Monitor Lizard hastes. Okay. And it's when you haste poison. So now they are both bronze. They both apply poison, but one hastes. And they have the same cooldown. Like Clockwork now gives your weapons damage, and gives double damage if you have a core that is a weapon. Okay, when I read this can't actually be the change, right? Like, there's some other nerf here? Like, this was probably the best starting skill in the entire game. Dually or no dually. There's a nerf to the numbers, right? Like, it scales your other weapons as well. And just giving double? Like, this can't be real. If it's not a starting skill. Yes, that would... I'd actually like that change a lot, I think. Like, I think it was probably too good as a starting skill. But you also never wanted to take it in the mid-game when it was offered. Where now, because it scales your other stuff too, it's a lot more interesting to take in, like, a mid-game shop. If you can get it from bronze skill shops, that honestly might make taking early skill shops on Dually make a lot of sense too. Because bronze, like Clockwork, is 5, right? So you would get 10 damage to all of your items on level up. That's kind of huge. Forklift now deals 50/100 damage from 30/60 for each item to the left of it. It's still just too slow, right? Because Forklift, it's like a 10-second cooldown. Yeah, 10-second cooldown. Haste, and then it hastes itself after it activates. But it does haste everything, to be fair. So if you make it to 10 seconds, you get to haste your entire board. But it's a large item with a 10-second cooldown. Kinetic Cannon now gains more damage. Wait, less damage? Different amounts of damage? What? Wait. What? Did I miss something? Were people using this item? Kinetic Cannon. Cooldown 10 seconds. Deal 100 damage. When you use a small item, this gains 20 damage for the fight. This website. Wait, I don't understand. Is this like for balancing some PvE fights? I know there's a scary PvE fight that has a kinetic cannon. That's so weird. Railgun has been redesigned. It now deals 100/200 damage and is charged when you use the core. Railgun. Another 10-second cooldown item. Oh. It doesn't gain damage anymore? Okay, I guess just trying something different. Scrap metal now starts at gold. So no more -2 seconds by getting this to diamond. It's gonna be significantly harder to find, too. Trying to find untagged gold items is pretty rough. So getting the cooldown on your cores is going to be a lot harder. It seemed like the most consistent plan that Dooley had last week was just taking combat core, or not combat core, crit core or the core, leveling it up to diamond, and then just scaling damage on it with either motherboard or like Clockwork. Is it gold? They don't say they removed the cooldown on it. That's true. I would... Yeah, I don't know. I guess on the other things that they nerfed, they did say with +1 multicast. Where here they didn't clarify. Has anyone been playing? Are more Dooley endgame boards going to skip their core? I don't know. My concern is I'm not sure what Dooley does if he's skipping his core. It seems like most of his plans are pretty reliant on speeding up a core and getting a bunch of activations and using the core to scale off of skills. But I don't know. Beta Ray now only freezes small items. The other best Dooley item successfully nerfed. Yeah, not freezing medium items is big, because there are fights that just don't have any small items. This does make Beta Ray better at freezing birds, though. Ray build, best build? I think this just makes the splashed Beta Ray worse. Where it seemed like before, if you got a silver Beta Ray, it was pretty easy to just keep it on your board the entire game. Now if you want to play a freeze item, it probably wants to be coolant instead of Beta Ray. Because right now it's a pretty common setup to just have a bunch of small items on the side. You have the core here, and then a small freeze item here. Usually that small freeze item wants to be Beta Ray, but now it could just be coolant. They're both the same rarities, it's just... Beta Ray getting that starting haste means you can place it over here at the start of the game and have it be a fast activator for your core. Balance changes. Pig. Luxury tent multicast no longer scales to +2 at diamond. Sure, so they just changed that on all of them. Makes sense. Luxury tent restorative fixed. Bird healing increased. And the multicast effect is now just +1 multicast. Okay. I like that. It's better at healing, but worse at, you know, making your entire build function. An argument to run both coolant and ray? Yeah, it's the same argument as before. If you just want to have multiple freeze items. A lot of the time you only had room for one, but there were boards that played multiple. Beehive no longer uses all busy bees on enemy use. Instead it uses one busy bee on any enemy item use. On any... Wait, it was weapon before, right? Or was Caltrop's weapon? Beehive is nutty now? Beehive is significantly worse, right? I don't know why it would be nutty now. Now it's just like a Caltrops that takes up more space. Beehive +1B. Any item use as opposed to just weapons. Yeah, so you play a large Caltrops. The thing that made Beehive scary before was you would play Beehive plus... What was it, like 5 Bs, 6 Bs? However many fit on the board. And then anytime your opponent attacked with a weapon, you just insta-killed them. Way easier to scale damage on it compared to Caltrops? Maybe. I don't know. I like the design on it more than before, I guess. It's really weird to me that Beehive prints bees, but you only want to play one bee. Like, that feels like a design miss, but the previous way that it played was really lame, so it's kind of whatever. How buff can a singular bee be? It scales by, what, 15 every time you buy a property? Bee sell for 0 without loop? Oh, I never even noticed that. Thought they sold for 1. Yeah, that's weird. Beehive's just a weird item. I don't know. Brass Knuckle, second effect is now this has double damage instead of when this has 40 or more damage, this is +1 multicast. Cool, I guess? I still don't know what the purpose of this item is. It's just like a really slow weapon. Is there any situation where double damage is better than +1 multicast? Multiple activations is just better, right? If your opponent has bees, true. You got me. With less than 40 power? Wait, why does the power matter? It's just double damage either way, right? It's just how the double damage is applied. I'm just thinking about it in the context of Pig's items. There's a bunch of Pig items that care how often you're activating something, which would want you to have the multicast versus the double damage. It works great with weapon skills early. It works the same, though, right? Like, there's a bunch of situations where it's identical. What's the situation where it's better to be double damage? You have 39 damage. Oh, they got rid of the condition, too. No, okay, you're right. You're right. I read that wrong. Okay. That makes more sense. Loop now starts at gold tier. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I feel like my pig runs... Let me just say loop feels like the most important pig item. It is going to feel bad not having access to loop in every run. But it's probably deserved. Golf club cooldown increased to 7 from 6. Cool, I guess. Crook damage and damage bonus reduced to 10, 20, 40 from 10, 20, 50. Huh. So the late game crook is a bit worse, the mid game crook is the same. It's a bigger nerf than it looks, too, right? Because that gets multiplied across all of your items for all of your items. So it's going to end up being like 30 or 40 less damage on all of your weapons. I think Crook's a bit better mid-game now because the guaranteed upgrade on day 5. Oh, that's true. That's true. Though, they removed the weapon upgrade, right? The upgrade a weapon level up reward. So like you get a guaranteed one on 5, but you're not spiking like crazy, hitting it on like level 3, level 4. Which was pretty common before. Caltrops now starts at diamond tier. Fair enough. Beast of Burden, damage and damage bonus reduced. What the fuck? What was this thing scaling? This was 25 at silver? I thought it already was this. Clearly I did not play enough Beast of Burden. Also, I haven't seen the new level up rewards yet. Yeah, true, true. One of the devs hates Pig. I think the consensus in the community was that Pig was the best hero. I don't think I agreed with that consensus, but it's what most people thought. Balcony's effect now only triggers in combat. Thank God, this was obnoxious. Signet Ring now starts at silver tier instead of gold tier. Balcony is currently bugged and is basically breaking the game. Incredible. The only way to make it more obnoxious. What does Signet Ring even do? Oh, at the start of each hour, gain 10 max health. Wait, you get this earlier now? And we start calling the Beast of Burden Bob. It's already happened. I think the YouTube video where I played Beast of Burden, I called him Bob. Yeah. It doesn't have any tags, so it is still kind of hard to find, even though it's silver. It's like finding a scrap on Dually. Didn't even notice the jetpack video box that yesterday. Yeah, I don't know when it went up. It was probably a couple days ago, but... Giant Ice Club now has, when any item gains freeze, charge this 1 to 2 seconds. Oh, but it loses the double damage. Womp womp. Pig's already the worst hero at freezing things, right? Like, you get Snow Globe and Ice Cream Truck, but you don't have a good way to take advantage of them, and I'm pretty sure you have less access to freeze skills than the other heroes. Skipped it initially, I've been binging the content. Yeah. Open beta should be fun. True, but Globe is really cool. Yeah. Just don't know how you use it. Don't usually have space for it. Endurance now gives your heal items plus 20 to 30 heal for the fight when you use a weapon and starts at gold tier. That's fair. I think this is the first thing that I haven't had to look up the name of, because this was the absolutely busted heal skill. That was, your heal items have extra heal based on your highest weapon damage. And that skill was not okay. This is still good, but it is not plus 1,000 health birds levels of good. Vineyard has been redesigned. It now heals 1, 2, or 3 times its value when you use an item. Is that not already what it did? Oh. It scales now. It didn't scale before. These got better. But the best trigger for them lost a multicast? Huh. It's a net buff. I didn't normally play these, but they're not bad. The Vineyard bird stuff with golf clubs was cool, though this does scale the golf clubs worse than it did before, with fewer bird multicasts. Also, isn't golf club just garbage now? Bird changed too? Now, like, the early game golf clubs is scaling 2/3 as much as it was before, and it's slower. Then my property build might be busted with the balcony bug. What is the balcony bug? Wait, 2,000 shield land scraper. Starts at 20x instead of 2x. Oh, that's hilarious. Model ship deadly gives adjacent items 20% crit chance for the fight when you use an item. Your properties now lose value when you lose a fight with stained glass window. What? I don't think I've seen this item used since the skyscraper nerf. When you win a fight with stained glass window, your properties gain 4 value. The property to the right of this has double value in combat. If you have 4 or fewer items in play, their cooldowns are reduced by 10%. Huh. Weird. Hammer damage increase and upgrade effect now targets the item to the left. What the fuck? Wait, this was already like the best item in the game. What? We're buffing hammer? You can target hammer now? What? Hold up. Hammer is the item I'm thinking of, right? This is the reason that we're taking that other fight every time? Can't buff board as easily? I mean, it's a headache to buff your board, but realistically, how often are you leveling up after a combat? If you're leveling up on a PvE fight, you can just put the hammer in before taking the drop. So you don't even need to play it for the PvE fight? I think this is a worse design because of the micro required, but this is way stronger. This is absurd. The only time that it's a downside is when you have 1 XP remaining going into the player fight. Huh. Necronomicon now inflicts poison 3 and gives regen 3 per trigger instead of 1 each. Hammer's pretty easy to get for any character. Not really. You have to get it off of the one fight or from random docs encounter. It's pretty hard to get on every character. Also give it a damage buff so it's not as bad to play on board. It can't hit itself anymore. Yeah. It is a 9-second cooldown. Like, it did get a damage buff, but... You'd see a bunch of bad hammers in Ghost Fight. Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to play the hammer. Even if you're trying to buff something on the board, you're almost never going to have to play the hammer. Chain of Hammer passes this enchants every item it upgrades. I don't think so. It doesn't say that it does that on Bazaar, but I could be wrong. Oh. Oh. Huh. Yeah, we didn't get there yet. Wow. See, I was still stuck on Necronomicon and thinking how I am never ever going to take the Lich fight ever again because this fight is no longer beatable ever. I think I have lost to the Lich the last, like, 3 or 4 times I thought I could beat him. How in the world am I beating Lich now? When any non-weapon item is used, Poison 3, gain 3 regen for the fight. Maybe on Vanessa? That's crazy. Dragon Whelp Restorative is now heal equal to this item's damage. Sure. Beach Ball, Cannonball, and Schematics can be deadly. And all of these apply their enchants. Huh. Where are we on bug fixes? Oh. A lot. Any of these really important? Upgrade previews. Fishing net will no longer stop spawning items. Cool. Wait, I thought it could destroy itself. Solidified at Lottle, second effect, the damage it has. Okay, so this wasn't the bug, this was just the tooltip being wrong. Angry Balloon Bot was supposed to gain damage proportional to the shield lost. Top one and break, it's true. I'm working in reverse. I'll get there eventually. Oh, what? Didn't even notice. Fixed a bug. Yeah, I tried to give Radiant to Companion Core and couldn't. Good to see that fixed. Vengeance at Diamond tier, giving 55% reduced cooldowns instead of 15. This is the coconut one. That one should work more reliably now. Fixed a bug where items destroy themselves, stopped the item's effects from triggering other effects. Fixed a bug where Makeshift Barnacle slowed all enemy items instead of the specified amount. What? These didn't work from stash? I guess just sometimes. I've definitely had golden cash registers that were making coins. Launcher counted as a heal item. Bushel enchants. Fixed a bug where buying DJ Robot did not spawn items. Huh. Magic Carpet damage. Advanced Synthetics. Shadowed Cloak. So we should have tooltips on every. I think these were the only 2 items that didn't have the tooltips. This was the skill that I kept asking chat what it did. Default carpet has changed and should not be found in chests. Legendary rank properly updates. Blah, 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 blah. Items are only purchased now when you click them or drag them to the stash or carpet. Amazing. What a great change. Favorite change in the patch notes. Fixed a bug where enchanting an item could cause the item to lose their buffs. Fixed a bug where enchanted items could lose their buffs when upgraded. Fixed an issue with player ghosts being buffed at the start of combat. This was already fixed a couple days ago, but I guess threw it in the patch notes just to clarify. Cool.